So I'm out here on Lake of the Ozarks with Lake Ozark pro fisherman Joe Grafeman, and we are talking about outdoor opportunities. Fishing is what Joe's passion is, and mine as well at times. But there's so many outdoor opportunities at Lake of the Ozarks, and we wanted to showcase what those opportunities are. And we'll be having segments from time to time showing the various different types of things that are available here at Lake of the Ozarks. Joe, tell us a little bit about what you've done in the last couple of years as a pro fisherman.
Absolutely. So, the tournament fishing has always been such a huge passion of mine, and started with that at an early age, and then to kind of, just competed throughout high school, and then out of high school, I fished a lot of Toyota Series events, and then I guess it was 2 years ago, I made the pro circuit. So started traveling around for, a lot of those tournaments, and have good sponsors that allow me to do that. Ace Grease being one of my biggest sponsors, and without them, it wouldn't be possible. But, it's been awesome to turn that passion into a career and be able to, travel the country chasing it and enjoying the freedoms we have. And like you said, here at the lake, it's such a great area, and especially for me, growing up here, I've learned so much valuable information that I can take to other lakes and apply that. So
sure,
it's pretty awesome.
So does the high school here, whether it's Camdenton or School of the Osage, do they have a program to introduce young folks that are interested in a career in fishing or guide service, anything related to that?
They don't, not that I know of. That needs to be a thing. I started the fishing team there at Osage. Like I said, moved down here and went to high school here, and started the fishing team at Osage. But then after I graduated, it kind of just, I guess, isn't around anymore. So I think that's definitely something we should work on bringing back.
How about the community colleges? Do either of those offer anything related to outdoor recreation?
I don't believe so, no. Overall, the sport of fishing and tournament fishing is something you can do no matter how old you are or where you're at. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about it. But I think colleges in general have adopted the tournament aspect of it and getting more kids outdoors. So you're starting to see a lot more of that. And that's kind of been a thing for a while, but I think there'd be a good opportunity for, a program like that to get more kids outdoors and involved in the sport. Like I said, it's something that you can do no matter how old you are or where you come from. So that's a pretty awesome thing about it.
Well, that's really the point of our podcast, showcasing outdoor recreation opportunities at Lake of the Ozarks and Missouri in general. And if we can expose this to some of the youth, the chances of getting classes and or some sort of structure set up, whether it be at the high school level or community college, because there's just so many opportunities at the lake. Think about it outside of the outdoor rec, but what about a young person that maybe isn't interested in going to college, but would be interested in learning about the hospitality industry because they have a desire to work at a resort, hotel. Mm-hmm. And if we had classes here locally or regionally where they could pick up that extra skill set and get into the hospitality industry here, guide fishing like you're doing, a boat captain, it seems like that all of those types of things are jobs that folks could do and have a really cool job throughout your lifetime. And if you're enjoying having fun going to work is no longer work, it's going to fun rather than going to work.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we live in such a good area that offers so many opportunities like that you just mentioned, from captaining boats to working in the service industry. And, it's definitely the right area for a flourishing career and be able to chase your passions and at the end of the day, I mean, you can do anything you set your mind to as long as you work hard and stay committed to it.
You know, I know a guy here locally. He's been in the parasail business for probably 30 years at Lake of the Ozarks. And about 2 years ago, he turned over his business to a young man that's doing very well with the business, probably growing it and expanding it from when he purchased the business. That is a heck of a lifestyle if you think about it. You know, if you're in your early 20s and you buy a guy's parasail business and you're out on a boat daily with customers, putting them up in the air for a 10-15 minute ride in the sky, overlooking all the Lake Ozark amenities and houses and the different things that Lake of the Ozark has, that would be a heck of a business to own and a heck of a business to be involved in on a day-to-day basis, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
I know it's hard work, any business is, but it seems like there'd be an awful lot of fun involved in that. The different families you would meet and the young kids that would be having a great time and experience a parasail ride.
A lot of reward to it. You know, that's originally why I got into guiding down here, is because I love, you know, working with people and working with, you know, younger kids, especially seeing the excitement that they get when they catch their first fish. And, you know, you get to share a lot of first time experiences that are really memorable and really special with those people. And it's definitely an awesome career, and it's the right area to do it down here.
Well, beyond fishing and parasailing, boat riding, pleasure boats, you've got operations that have watercraft, jet ski rentals, boat rentals in general. You've got scuba divers that get their certifications at Lake of the Ozarks. We're not known to be the clearest lake, you know, and you compare us to the coast where you've got crystal clear water, you know, in the salt water. But nonetheless, we have guys that get certified here and become scuba divers here. And we've got, as you know, plenty of guys that are in the business here doing dive recovery because somebody's always losing a wallet or a cell phone or something off of their dock or boat, and they call somebody to come and recover their lost item that's underwater. Those are all types of opportunities here at Lake of the Ozarks that I think a lot of people don't realize that a young person could get involved in.
There is a lot of opportunities, and it seems like you just kind of gotta, you know, find what you're passionate about and chase after it.
When we're talking about the different things you can do at Lake of the Ozarks in the outdoors, enjoying getting outside of the house, fishing, there's some sort of fish that is in season and very capable of being caught any given month out of the 12 months of the year.
Absolutely, yeah. The crappie fishing all throughout the winter is great, and anytime you come down here, there's always, you know, fish to be caught, no matter really what time of year it is. And me personally, I fish 12 months out of the year here, and I guide for the majority of those, and it just seems like each year it gets better and better.
Is the guide service busier rather in the summer season or in the off season?
I would say it's busier in the summertime, but we're starting to see, you know, more trips being had throughout other times of the year, and I think as we go along, that'll continue to get better each year, you know. As far as, I guess last year I guided pretty much all the way up until December, and had a few, maybe, you know, December and January were a little slow, but February picks up again, and busy all throughout the year at that point.
Groups of 2 or 3 on the boat, or is it generally just a guy or 2 guys that want to go out and learn how to bass fish?
I take all types of people. I take, you know, all age ranges, but I would say a big part of that is probably families that come down with their kids and are looking for, you know, an outing or something to do while they're here that's fun and exciting and memorable. But I deal with, you know, a lot of younger kids too that just go with their grandparents. I deal with tournament fishermen that come down here, so you get a wide range of people that are involved in the sport or, want to create that memory. And so
Joe, tell me about the most extraordinary or the craziest fishing story you've got.
Got a bunch of them, but one that definitely comes to mind is the 13-pounder I caught on a big crankbait. I was actually going to a tournament down in Texas, and they always say that they grow them big in Texas, and that was my first time actually fishing down there. And I was pre-fishing for this tour event and went down and spent about a week trying to learn the area. It was Lake Sam Rayburn, and it was the first day I got down there. I had driven all night the night before and dumped the boat in the water, and I went to my first spot, and I seen this fish that was kind of sitting on the middle of this little ledge, and I fired a big crankbait out and hooked into it, and it came up and jumped and had one little bitty hook in the back part of its mouth. Wasn't hooked very good. I got it up to the boat and bear hugged it, and that was the biggest fish I've ever caught. And turns out if I would have turned that into the Parks and Wildlife, I would have got a free replica mount and got some. They would have taken the fish and spawned it out, but there was 4 more just sitting there with it, so I kept fishing and
Did you get a picture of it?
Oh yeah, I got a good picture of it.
You had somebody with you?
Turned it loose, and I actually flagged a guy down and had it in the live well and had him take a picture. But that was the biggest fish I've ever caught, and I always kind of think about that, that stays with you forever. That's a fish.
Well, considering my biggest bass is probably about 3 pounds, that's only about 4 times bigger than the fish that I've caught.
It was a pretty exciting day. That, you fish your whole life to catch one like that, and a lot of people don't. So I was pretty fortunate to be able to do that. That was actually, I guess last year. It was on New Year's Day.
What a New Year's Day.
Oh yeah, that was a good way to kick off the new year for sure.
I don't know what the record is for a largemouth at Lake of the Ozarks, but I know that there have been 10+ pound recorded for the Big Bass Bash tournaments, but I'm sure there's been bigger fish than that.
Yeah, the biggest I've heard being caught is right at 10 pounds. I've had a 10-pounder out of here a couple of years ago, and they grow big here, and a lot of the fish, I think, just with this lake and the amount of boat traffic and the pressure from other fishermen, those big fish kind of live their lives out away from the bank and in other places that people aren't really going to target them. So it's pretty unique as far as how those big fish like to set up on this lake compared to other fisheries. But this lake has got a ton of big ones in it, and we're blessed to call it home for sure.
We certainly are. So we are coming back into State Park number 2, which is a public launch facility. You can rent a boat slip here. You can rent a boat here. And this is their facility on this side of the lake. It's open, I think, about 8-9 months out of the year on this one. But I wanted to bring it to your attention because there are so many bass tournaments held here, and this is the go-to launch ramp at Lake of the Ozarks, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, it's one of the biggest ones, and there's tournaments all the time. Even throughout the summertime, they have night tournaments, and you can kind of take your pick. There's one almost every night of the week, it feels like. A lot of bigger tournaments come here also, and big organizations have events here, and definitely have the event space and the facility to host those big tournaments when they come into town. And just the influx of people in the area, it's such a great spot to put your boat in, and they got a nice little store up there. You can, as you mentioned, you can rent a slip, and it's a great facility.
You know what the fee is they charge to launch your boat here?
I believe it's $5 a day.
$5 a day. Pretty affordable.
Oh yeah. And you can keep your trailer here over that time frame, obviously, and if you're down for the weekend and have a rental at a place, and need to leave your trailer somewhere, this is definitely a good place to do it.
And so this launch ramp, this public facility here, is a part of the over 50,000 acres that makes up there's me giving an alert to those fish that bait is in the water now. Anyway, it's part of that 50,000 acres of Missouri State Park system that's here at Lake of the Ozarks. And that acreage is open for, they've got trail rides for equestrian folks that like to ride horses. They've got walking and bike paths if you're into, outdoor biking. What is that called? Mountain biking, yeah. So if you're into mountain biking, they've got all kinds of mountain bike trails in the state park. They've got public restrooms, primitive campsites where you can rent a spot just to put up a tent. And if you've got an RV motor coach, they've got hundreds of spaces for RVs. And then you've got, I might be over that a little bit. Well, I'm getting lucky. Threading that through a needle. Tell us about the different types of fish species at Lake of the Ozarks that your guide service will take somebody out on for a day or an evening.
I cover a wide range of a lot of different species here, but bass is definitely my passion and first and foremost kind of what I would say probably chase the most, but also offer services for crappie guiding and catfish, as well as spoonbill and paddlefish. That's a really interesting thing to do if people haven't done it. They're really migratory fish that, swim up the rivers each year to spawn and kind of chase them as they're doing that. So a lot of them can get to be over 100 pounds. I was telling you earlier, last season we had 5 of them over 105 pounds, and it's pretty special when you can catch, a triple-digit fish in a body of water that you live on.
On an inland lake, yeah, especially in the Midwest.
Oh yeah, no, it's pretty awesome, and I'd say like pound for pound, they're probably the hardest fighting freshwater species that we have. It's similar to, I would compare it to saltwater fishing as far as how they fight, and they're awesome fish. Then a lot of them are like pretty old too, so the spoonbill, if you catch 100-pound fish, that's an old fish that's been around and been through a lot in its lifetime. So definitely have a lot of respect for those types of species, and it's awesome to see the excitement people get when they reel one in for the first time. And that's kind of why I started, my guide service to begin with, is because I have such a huge passion for helping others and teaching them, the ways to enjoy the outdoors. And so that's why I started it. And it's very rewarding to get people out there, and especially younger kids with their grandparents or mom and dad. That's a lot of first-time experiences for somebody. And fishing is something, like I said, you can do no matter how old you are, and it's very therapeutic in a way. You're out in the outdoors listening to the birds and reeling them in, so it doesn't really get much better than that, I don't think.
And Joe and I have been discussing outdoor opportunities at Lake of the Ozarks.
Absolutely, it's a great area to be. I have a huge passion for the sport. I've been that way since I was little. I got some great sponsors I want to give a shout out to. So I want to give a shout out to Ace Grease. They're my title sponsor. They keep me going on the road all year long, and I couldn't do it without them. And we also want to give a special thanks to Douglas Rods and Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialists. So I appreciate you having me on board today. I look forward to getting out there in the boat with you again.
Absolutely. Can't do it without your sponsors. And we've got Mo Bandwidth here, Mo Bandwidth Recording Studio, who's going to be doing our podcast. We're talking about outdoor recreation opportunities at Lake of the Ozarks. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure to like us on your social media accounts. Thank you.
Is that good?
Works for me.